Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly Winarski with Kairos Connect. I am joined today with my partner, Dr. Evan Hughes, and Dr. Jim Aspinwall and Dr. Chris Alberts of Aspinwall Chiropractic Center in LaGrange, Georgia. And they are hiring for an associate, and you might want to hear what they have to say. All right. Take it away, Dr. Chris. Tell us what's special about your practice.
Well, thank you, Kelly. So what's special about our practice? Well, first off, our practice has been here since 1947. It's really a practice with salt and pepper, meaning that there's mature exuberance and then there's youthful exuberance. But we've partnered together and we've got a great mix. And so between, the three docs, we've got over 65 years experience. Our core values, which I'll let Jim jump in on that, but our core values, which are really important to us, and also what we hire on, and those are
striving for growth is the one that drives us when it comes to hiring an associate. So that's just one of them. And striving for growth, we're talking about inside the practice and outside the practice. So just so you know, we want to grow personally as well as professionally. Loyalty and commitment is another, and compassion is the third. Compassion is kind of obvious in healthcare. Loyalty and commitment. I like the way Chris worded it. Life happens, and we have to be loyal and committed to one another to get through some of life's challenges. And so we're committed inside and out of the office. So those are our core values.
Yeah, and so utilizing those, that's something that I feel like makes us unique in that we lead with that, as well as not only do we hire based on those, but we also live by those values. I know my wife has often mentioned that we're extremely generous to our team, but I think, when you ask a lot, it's a whole lot easier to ask for more or to ask your team to do things when you're constantly giving to them and taking care of them. So
love that as a starting point. First of all, did you notice that Chris's accent got really thick when he talked about his wife?
Beautiful. He left the South African accent and went South Georgia, didn't
he? He did. I love that. And if an associate doctor is looking at this, what are some, I don't know if it's procedural, but for some practices about how you be in a growth model? Constant growth, love it. It keeps practice fun and interesting. But how do you do that as a team? Weekly meetings? Do you guys read together?
Well, we read 1 to 2 books every month. The two of us do. We encourage our staff to do the same. Now they don't keep up with our pace, but because we've read a lot and we have a lot of, well, almost sound like I'm bragging. Let me back up.
You can brag. This is your interview.
Okay. We've read a lot of books. So when somebody comes to us and they want to grow in a particular area, we probably have read a book in that area and can be helpful in guiding them so they don't have to go to 5 books to find what they could find in one. And so that's one of the things. Of course, seminars is another.
Yeah, say from a practical standpoint, our team, we meet on a weekly basis, whether it be in departments or on a quarterly basis, coming together as an entire team and either going through some sort of growth experience together or also just going through social experiences. We realize that the vast majority of our day is actually spent with our team, and so we need to get to know our team better, know the people on our team better, because at the end of the day, that's just going to create more trust, more rapport, and makes it easier to do things. And maybe even when we're tired, we'll step up and do something to help a teammate out. So growth it comes in a lot of different shapes, forms, and means, but it's definitely infused into everything we do.
He mentioned something I just want to reiterate, that we have 12 staff members, and we've divided our clinic into 4 different groups, or 4 different departments is a better term. And so those departments meet separately, and then we meet corporately, and then the leadership meets quarterly for a full day to plan what our next quarter is going to look like. So we're on purpose. We're on target, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Dr. Jim, I'm curious. You started the practice, you said, in what year?
Well, thank you for that. I'm not 146 years old. My father actually started this practice in 1947. Amazing. I was yet to be born. So
okay. That makes so much more sense. Thank you for clarifying that.
And then when he got licensed and started practicing chiropractic, I was just about to be born.
So first of all, what a beautiful thing for a practice to have that longevity. And clearly there are systems in place that allow it to do that. But I'm curious to know, like, how has the vision and the evolved over the years to, to be passed from one down to another, now down to bringing on Chris as a partner and eventual successor, I'm assuming. How's the vision evolved over the years?
Pretty dramatically, because my dad, I mean, in 1947, I mean, a brief story, but he went to a drugstore to buy a camera to take pictures for Christmas morning for his 4 boys. The drugstore would not sell him the camera because he was a chiropractor. So that was, long time ago. But so his vision was pretty small because it was hammered into smallness. I went to work for a practice that was much, much larger for a year and a half after I got out of chiropractic college. It allowed me to see a much bigger vision before I came back to Georgia. So when I came back, I helped my father to see a bigger vision in which we grew. Then my brother came in, we made it even bigger. Chris and I, we have the same work ethics, same work style, same core values, absolutely opposite motivations and or word it correctly. You're the implementer, I'm the visionary. I'm trying to think of how to put that in terms of other people to understand.
So so I'm the detail focused individual, whereas Jim is the action taker. So he can take action faster than anyone else I know, whereas I'm going to make sure that we have all the details perfected along the way.
So it's a good blend, because he slows me down, I speed him up, and we both recognize the value in each other's gifting. So it doesn't create strife; it creates more of
a healthy friction.
Absolutely healthy friction, and it's just it can be a lot of fun, Deidre.
Absolutely. Polarity does some beautiful things with creating tension that drives success. So I'm curious to know a little bit more about the area of LaGrange. Not a lot of people have heard of that. If you say, hey, they're outside of Atlanta, okay, we understand where that basically is. What would draw someone? Why would somebody want to come to LaGrange to live and practice?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. We're only we're 52 miles to the airport from here, so that's very convenient to the Atlanta area, to international. There's also historic Columbus, which is 40 miles south of here. It's right on the Chattahoochee River. But the draws to our local community are numerous, in my opinion. We have a huge Corps of Engineers lake. If I leave my dock and go to the dam, it takes me about 45 minutes running 45 miles an hour to get to the dam. So it's a huge lake. Lots of large high-end bass tournaments are there, crappie fishing, of course, water sports. We are in a rural-esque community, so hunters and fishermen would delight in it. We also happen to have some things that are much less outdoorsy. We have the #1 rated microbrewery in the country, was voted #1 in the country last year, located in our town. So if you like craft beer,
meetings,
there you go, which occur there occasionally.
Nice.
We have a couple other breweries as well. They hadn't gotten the national notoriety this one does. We have a winery in town. We actually have 2 wineries in town, and we have some great local restaurants. We had a
Great Wolf Lodge, so family centric as well. And if you know anything about the South, great weather. It's mild climate, and so it means that you can get the kids outside. There's always going to be activity. Callaway Gardens, beautiful botanical style gardens, huge. Zoo Atlanta, 50 minutes away. So lots of activities for families.
And we do have a lot of good restaurants. We had a chef here that was nationally famous who taught at our local tech college. And so we have a lot of his graduates that have opened restaurants here in our community.
Phenomenal. It sounds like an amazing place to live.
We like it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Tell me about the most important qualities that you're looking for in an associate.
So, first and foremost, so we go back to our core values and, going through committed to growth. We want someone that is committed to growth. And so what that means is, the way I look at it is that person has to be coachable, has to be willing to be coached, but also has to be passionate and excited about chiropractic and what we get to do on a daily basis. We want for that individual to also obviously be loyal and committed, committed to their craft, committed to wanting to learn more, to be able to improve themselves both inside and outside the office, and then of course also exhibiting compassion. Right, those are from a quality standpoint, those are the most important qualities. As far as when we start talking about it from a chiropractic or professional standpoint, we'd love to have a team member that either already has some pediatric or prenatal training, or has a desire to go down that route. We want someone that is excited to, again, going back to growth. We do offer specialized training, both on site as well as setting you out of state to continue with training and ongoing training as well. So it really just comes down to growth. How much do you want to improve, not just yourself, but also as a chiropractor, and ultimately being able to do that to not only help more, but also grow more, serve more, and ultimately also make more and live the lifestyle that you want to live.
Beautiful. I love it. Dr. Hughes, anything else?
Yeah. So just to give that a little bit more frame, there's going to be in-house training. There's going to be an expectation of going to seminars and engaging.
Right.
And I think a new grad, I loved going to all the seminars I could find. And then, how are you evaluating the effectiveness of that? When you're working with people, you get a sense for some folks, but what are some things you're looking for that an associate doctor is on track with you?
Yeah. So from a tangible standpoint, Evan,
Yes.
we measure things, right? So, that's going to show up in statistics, right? So, we do pay attention to what's happening in terms of production. The associate that we bring in, their main focus is going to be on, adjusting patients, taking patients through new patient exam, consultation, day 1, day 2 process, etc. Their focus is largely in the office. We do want for them to get out and network. We're not in need of a screening machine. That's not what we're wanting an associate to do, but we do want them to be involved in the community and just network in the community. But otherwise, it's all focused on what happens in the office. And so, as far as how do we identify and determine, I guess, level of success? Well, it's going to come down to those statistics that we measure and that we do share with that associate or with our associates already, so that they can also gauge how they're doing and where they can improve as well.
I love it. I mean, we're a heart-based profession, right? It's all feeling based, but if you don't have stats, man, it becomes ungrounded in a hurry. So I don't know. It sounds like a great place to work, guys. I'm excited about this. What other details do we need, Dr. Kelly? I think we got to talk about.
Yep. So the details would be, so specifically any recommendations or suggestions if for someone specifically applying to your job. Is there anything that you're going to be looking for that you'd like to see?
Yeah, well, I'm going to say that from a timeline standpoint, we're interested in anywhere from now to 6 months from now would be most ideal. As far as experience, they can be a recent grad, or they can have some level of experience. We're not looking for so much those specific traits as much as, hey, do you want to grow? Do you want to grow yourself? Are you excited with chiropractic? Are you excited about the opportunity to be able to deliver the goods on a daily basis and help impact our community? And if that's something that you're excited about and you want to pursue going down the path of pediatric care, prenatal care, as well as some of the, we're a comprehensive chiropractic and holistic based practice. And so we do have a lot of differentiating factors, but that's also part of the toolbox that associate will have access to be able to help people in our community. So going back to, requirements, I would say, again, someone that wants to grow, someone that is wanting to settle in and join a team that is both established and mature, but also youthful, and that provides lots of opportunity for personal growth as well as professional growth, both in the chiropractic profession and outside the chiropractic profession, and also, something we've been talking about and really focused on in these last 3 years, but ultimately setting up that individual to a place where they can, should they choose to, actually take ownership in an additional clinic in the future. We are wanting to have satellite offices, and so we'd love to be able to train someone up from within to have them ultimately be able to, make that their own.
Mm-hmm. I love your dynamic. You guys seem like a lot of fun to work with. If you're interested in growth and you want to apply for this position, you're going to submit your resume with cover letter addressed to Dr. Chris and Dr. Jim at info@kairosconnect.com, and we wish you the best of luck. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Evan.